Hello, everybody, and welcome back to House Flipper, the game where the people we're designing houses for live in the backyard. Oh, that was a huge, huge blunder in the last episode. Oh, by the way, I worked on my garden a little bit. You can't really tell because it's night outside, but it looks a lot better than it has for the past few episodes. I decided to work on it a little more because it was looking a little, bare, but we are going to start this episode with a disclaimer. I don't want this to be like a surprise for this episode because we're going to be dealing with cockroaches. um, so if you have an extreme fear of that, please turn away now. You do not have to watch this episode. I will not feel bad if you decide not to. I'm just getting that out of the way. But the first house we're going to look at is Nick Flo's student's house to clean up. Good morning. I hope you can help me. I am retired and not in the best of health. I currently own an apartment that I have been renting to students for many years. This year, unfortunately, I rented to a bad bunch of students, which turned out not to be the best decision. They didn't pay on time, so I went to check things out. When I opened the door, I almost had a heart attack. The whole house was a pigsty. There was trash, liquor bottles, and mud everywhere, and they were laying on the kitchen floor drinking. When I spoke to them, they rudely told me to get lost. I finally got them evicted, but the mess still remains. Some of the furniture and radiators are missing. Can you please clean up my house and make it suitable for new tenants so I can put this mess behind me? Yours sincerely, Nick Flo. So yeah, we're going to be dealing with disgusting little bugaroos in this episode, and just so you can get a little peek inside of what they look like, you can kind of hear them in the kitchen. I don't know if you can see them very well. They're over here on this wall, but they're also over here on this wall as well. So let's just go ahead and take care of this roach problem first. I do have a pretty big fear of cockroaches. Not ones in game, although I will admit the first time I saw them, I did feel a little bit of that nausea that I feel when I deal with cockroaches in real life. But luckily in this game, if you decide to play it yourself, you can actually turn the cockroaches into shards of glass, and I'm not sure how exactly that works. You probably do treat them the same way that you do with the cockroaches. So if you have an intense fear of cockroaches and you want to play this game, just know that you do not have to deal with them. You can actually change in your settings. But man, I sure do have a few cockroach stories, so since this is going to be the highlight of the video, I'm going to tell you both of them. But since this is like a college apartment, and these students just destroyed this poor man, this poor guy, I swear. He shouldn't have to deal with this. So when I was in college, I actually had an awesome roommate in the first dorm that I lived in. I will not say his name, but he was really good. He was a great guy. We had a nice system going. He would actually run track in the morning, and then that would wake me up for my first class. So, so that I wouldn't be late. And he had track really early. I mean, like, he woke up at 5 a.m. I don't know if he had an actual practice then, or he just went for a run. But he was up super early and out the door, by 6 o'clock. And then when he came back, it was about 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock would be my first class. So we had a really good system where he would come in, he would wake me up, and then I would I would bolt out the door. Sometimes he would be late, and then I would be late to class. But that was more my fault than it was his, because I shouldn't rely on him. I shouldn't have relied on him to, be my alarm clock. And yeah, he was just a really good roommate. He would make my bed for me sometimes, and, I would let him use all of my stuff. I would take out the trash. So we just had a really good system going. But unfortunately, we also had quite a big roach problem. So I don't know what I would prefer. What happened was, while the boys' dorm had cockroaches, the girls' dorm had lice. So I don't know if I would rather have a cockroach infestation or a lice infestation. Both are really gross. Honestly, if I could just say I don't want either, then I don't want either. We did have an exterminator come every once in a while, and that would take care of the problem kinda like temporarily, but then they would always come back, and it was just a mess. That's that college story. And then after I left him, I ended up switching roommates. I asked him if he wanted to come with me, but the dorm that I ended up going to was a little bit more expensive, and he couldn't afford that. And so I ended up having to get a new roommate, which I had a friend in college that I decided I wanted to room with. If any of you out there are watching, and actually let's give him the big radiator. We never buy this, so I think this is a good place to put it since it's under a double window. But yeah, if some of you guys are like still in high school, you're getting ready to go to college, I would advise not rooming with your friends because you really don't know a person until you have to live with them 24 hours. It really was a bad decision. I shouldn't have done it. I don't want to come across as like a hater. There is actually a bottle up here. Okay, good. We were able to grab it. It's nighttime outside, and it's kind of making things difficult. But anyway, yeah, I would totally recommend not rooming with your friends unless you've known them for a very long time. Like, this was somebody I met in college who I considered a friend, and it just wasn't a good plan. But I will also say that college was honestly so much better than high school. I don't know if anybody else would agree with that. If you're watching and you've actually experienced college yourself, it was so much better. I was so much happier there than I was in high school. Because high school, I mean, I could just give you the saddest story ever, but I'm not going to. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm assembling things extremely fast. I actually unlocked a perk that lets me do that, and it is so nice. There's actually a setting, I think, where you can, I don't know what it's called. Is it difficult or hard assembly? I guess it would be a little bit more involved than what I'm doing. Right now I have easy assembly, and that's what comes with the game. That's the default setting for this. So if you get this game and you want to assemble more, like if that's not a tedious task for you at all and you just enjoy it so much that you want to just do the whole kit and caboodle, then you can actually go into your settings and do that yourself. But I'm perfectly happy with not doing that. What is it with people in radiators, by the way? I don't get it. I don't get it. Do they... That's like the most random thing to steal, but apparently everybody in this world, in this universe, wants to steal a radiator. I don't get it. New skill point! Alright! So I only have one more skill point to use, so I guess we're gonna do that. I don't know what that does, though. Disposal of garbage. Long range. So I guess I don't really have to get up on the... Well, you know what? We can actually test that out. Oh yeah, so this is the front door. We didn't go in this way. Okay, let's turn this on. Let's test this. Look at how far this is. I would have had to been all up on that just to get that. That's so cool. I'm still gonna do it that way though. You couldn't really tell, but there was graffiti on the wall. If it was daytime, you would be able to see it a little bit better. But yeah, so we're gonna have to paint this room white. Actually, let's clean the windows first. So Brittany, I'm doing it up and down, just like you requested. I got you, fam. But now I'm gonna do it left to right. Okay, so in this bedroom, we are going to have to paint the whole thing white, which, in real life, would be quite the task. I don't know of any paint that could go from black to white just like this in one coat. Could you imagine? Could you imagine having to do this job in real life? I mean, I would have to refuse doing anything from that to white. If it's a bright color, like if it's red or hot pink or blue or anything, maybe not yellow, maybe not pastel, but anything else. If you try to go to white, it just does not work that well. But thank goodness this game is not in a world that requires primer and a lot of patience. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes this game does test your patience. Awesome, we're all done. So we didn't have to paint the insides because obviously they're already white. But if you went to do it, you could do it. Just paint white on white. It's fine. So if I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how this Nick guy is even going to trust anybody anymore. So back to college. It sure was a lot of fun for me. I certainly wasn't this crazy. Like I wasn't really that messy. Well, actually that's a lie. If you talk to anybody else, they would tell you I was messy. But a lot of it was just art projects that I had to do and that I had to hold on to because for some reason I couldn't keep a locker. Well, you know what? Even if I could keep a locker, I had to share it with another girl. But even if I could keep an art locker, I still couldn't keep all of my projects in it for a portfolio. So I just kind of had to, make room for it in my room. And so when my roommate left, I pretty much used his bed as like my storage area for my for my art projects. So that was just a massive mess. We did have a closet, and I probably could have used that, but I didn't. And everything was out in the open for everybody to see when they ever came to visit my room, which was quite often. I had a lot of guests in my dorm room, like for projects and stuff. So yeah, looking back on it, it was a little embarrassing. I probably should have cared more, but I didn't. But that's fine. We're out of that phase now. I'd like to say I'm a little bit cleaner, but those same people who would tell you I wasn't then would tell you I'm not now. But anyway, for anybody who is looking to go to college soon, it's certainly the time to get away from your folks and maybe experience the world on your own, make your own decisions every once in a while. But don't get too crazy. I don't want to encourage bad behavior. Oh, I didn't clean the windows. Okay, you know what? I gotta do that. Let me make sure all the doors are closed everywhere else. Okay, they are. They are. Okay, cool. So let's clean these windows. How did I forget this? That's like one of the main jobs whenever you have to do something like this. By the way, since the jobs in this video are mostly going to be cleaning, I'm not going to do any extra like painting and stuff like that, and I'm still not 100%. And that's only because these are going to be very long videos anyway, or long jobs anyway, because so much of the house needs to be cleaned. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. So I think after this we'll be done. Yes, cool. We are done. And you know what? Honestly, this place doesn't really look that bad for renting out. Like, the design choices are pretty good, pretty bare. Like, the people who rent this place out are going to be able to do whatever they want with it. Hopefully, they will not leave it in such disarray like the last tenants did. Hopefully poor Nick Flo does not have to deal with anyone like that either. But our job here is done. The roaches are dead. The trash is picked up. We're done. We're out of here. So the next job on the agenda is Robert. I almost said Robert Flo, but we had Nick Flo in the last one. Robert Moon, clean up the house, please. Greetings. A few days ago, I bought a house at an extremely bargain price. The price was influenced by two factors. For months, nobody wanted to buy it, and also a certain unwanted guest lived there for a while. I'm talking about a man who moved in and stayed there unnoticed for a few days before he was found by the police. This guy made quite a mess during his short stay. Trash, crates, and newspapers everywhere around. An unidentified substance covers most of the floor, and it seems that someone threw up on the fridge. Being a person who rejects the very sight of the current state of the house, I kindly request you to clean up the house I bought. I would also ask you to solve problems with the electricity. Regards, Robert Moon. So I'll just go ahead and tell you now, in real life I would not have this job. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I don't know what I would do in this situation. If I just walked in and I saw a crowd of cockroaches at my feet, I would probably cry, and I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure I told this story in one of my videos, but I'm not sure which one it was. But I do have a pretty terrifying cockroach story that actually was, I don't know if it was like the catalyst for it, but it was the time that I knew I had an issue with anxiety. All of my friends know this story, so if you're my friend and you're watching this, I'm sorry, you're probably hearing this for the 1000th time. But when I worked for an amusement park, it was only like, 2 days. I hated it. I hated the job. I hated the people that I worked with. Actually, no. The job was actually fine. It was really the people that I didn't like. And two, the fact that my managers refused to give me my schedule just was a red flag. There were just so many lazy people, and it wasn't a fun situation to be in at all. But anyway, so the last day, the second day that I worked at that job, I was out in the sun all day. The air conditioner in my car wouldn't work. So I had to have the windows down, so I was really sweaty. I was just already in a really bad mood. I had to deal with crappy people. And then I started feeling something on my leg. And at first I thought it was sweat, because I was like, okay, yeah, I'm really hot. That's what this is. I don't have to worry about it so much. But then I realized it was going up my leg instead of down. There was a cockroach on my leg that came from the potting soil that my mom had in the car. And I freaked out. I don't know how I didn't crash. I don't know how I didn't get pulled over, because I had my car in cruise control, so I wasn't speeding or anything, but I'm sure if a cop saw me, he would have every reason to pull me over. But no, I was absolutely freaking out. A broom mop does not work on cockroaches. I've never seen that message before. Do we only have a couple? Can we get you? Oh, there's some on the wall. I couldn't even see. Ugh. But yeah, that was so scary. That was such a scary situation. I had to pull over. I had, a full-blown panic attack. I pulled over on the side of the road, but before I pulled over on the side of the road, I actually went the wrong way on a one-way street. It was just a really, really bad time. I was in a bad way. Luckily, I wasn't going fast on the one-way street. I had just turned on it because I didn't realize it was a one-way street. But it was, and there was a car that was, kind of like stopped in front of me. And so I had to pull off the road and let that guy go. But no, I just took a break there. I just, chilled for a second and gathered my thoughts, and I just ended up going home. I called my parents, and they were going to come and pick me up, but luckily they did not have to do that. I was able to just truck through it and do it myself. So, what are your thoughts on cockroaches? If you were in that same situation, would you freak out as much as I did? Hopefully not. Hopefully, you have a better mind about you where you wouldn't do that. But, I was already in a very poor mental state. So we're almost done with this house. no more roaches, which is good. We don't have to deal with those anymore. I don't have any more bug stories, though. So, that's it. Those were my two main roach stories, the one in college, and actually both happened while I was still in school. It just, I don't know. It just wasn't a good time. It just wasn't a good time. I'm happy to be an adult. I'm sad that I'm getting older, but I'm happy to not have to deal with some of the things that I had to deal with as a young person. I'm sure other people would disagree. I'm sure other people, had just the best time when they were younger. Like you just breezed through high school. You had a whole lot of friends. That was not me. That was not me at all. I was not popular at all. But the good thing about that is, like, if you're not popular in your childhood days, then you don't really care if people don't like you later on in life. Like, of course, if somebody doesn't like you, you want to know why. But I don't know. It's stupid. If you don't want to like me, you don't have to like me. There's nothing not to like. But anyway, that's it for Robert Moon. Hope you guys like this house. And I hope he appreciates our cleanup job because it was nasty. I just realized that I didn't turn on some of the lights in that. I like to turn on the lights for the before and after photos. I realized that after the first episode, because like those were really dark and I didn't like how those looked. So I've been trying to do it and I forgot to do it. But anyway, the next one, we are actually going to go underground. I don't know if you see this symbol, notice this symbol, but I mean, there's a color change and everything. You can tell that these are a little different. But this is connected to the Apocalypse pack, which I think is free with this game. But it includes bunkers, which are really cool, and that's what this is going to be. Inhabitable Bunker. Last week, my dear sweet wife decided that her mom will live with us. So I determined that a perfect place for our lovely mother would be a cold, metal construction deep underground. To cut a long story short, I want to place her in the bunker. It's all for the sake of safety, of course. Of course. For Mom to move in, minimal facilities are needed there. A bed, a bathroom, and kitchen. And when I write minimal, I really mean minimal. Don't overdo it with comfort because, as I think, Mom won't honor us with her presence for long. It would be very nice if you added some apocalypse survival items in there because it would make it easier to convince my wife that it's all for safety reasons. Signed, the one waiting for his lovely mom to move in, son-in-law. We are really dealing with some people who absolutely hate their families. But I mean, we don't know what his mother-in-law is like. She could just be a complete monster. Wasn't that movie that Jennifer Lopez did? Wasn't that Monster-in-Law? At least he's not making fun. Well, not making fun, but at least he's not talking trash about somebody who is currently in hospice facility. But what I don't like is the fact that there are cockroaches around this food. I don't know if I would hate anyone enough to allow them to consume food that cockroaches have been snooping around. But we cannot sell this food. So I guess poor mother-in-law is going to have to deal with this stuff. But I hate that, though, because, unless his mother-in-law is Amy Johnson, we do not have a problem with her. So, I want her to be comfortable. Like, I want her to be able to tell people, this guy, my son-in-law is a jerk, and he wanted me to just live in filth, and this dude who came to redecorate this cold bunker just made it so much more inhabitable, and I'm so happy. Like, word of mouth is word of mouth. I don't have an issue with her. Let's try to arrange the shelf in such a way that it's not crooked. Because honestly, the space is so small, we need all of it that we can get. I know there's a spider web in here because those are really easy to see, but what's... One thing I hate about the bunkers are these ladders. Because I always end up climbing them, and I don't want to. Like, I wish there was a way that you could, like a button that you could press to grab on to... I don't know where this dirt is. Okay, I guess I got it. But I wish there was a way that you could grab onto the ladder and go up so that the game knows that that's what you want to do. Because as it is right now, you just end up walking up on your own, and it's just not a good experience. I'm going to be a little bit crazy. We do need some room here. So I'm actually going to clean up all this food and put it on the shelf, but I'm not going to subject you to that process. So I will be right back. Okay, so without being too crazy... Oh gosh, this is going to bother me. I have to do this. I'm going to have to move this because it was tipped over. Eventually, since those are pickles, eventually that is going to leak out and it's just going to cause a big mess. And, you know, like I said, we do not have a problem with the mother-in-law. You know, I don't want her to have to clean up pickle juice off the floor. But, you know, I did the best I could with rearranging this stuff. I know it's not perfect. If it were up to me and I had the time... Because, I mean, it is up to me. But if I had the time, I would make sure everything was in neat rows. Because, honestly, this is still driving me crazy a little bit. But, what's up with this rice bag? I don't know if any of the developers or the designers are looking at this video. But why is this one? Why is every other bag fine, but this one is clipping through the grate? That's just a little weird to me. I also feel like it's nighttime outside. Oh, crap. I forgot this. Let's fix the bathroom now. Let's get out of that area for a little bit, as if this area is any better. But yeah, these people that we're designing houses for, they just really hate their families. I mean, on one hand, I do kind of understand. I don't understand. I would never diss a family who is, you know, on their way out. I can understand having family members that you don't necessarily like. But even still, you know, you don't want to, like, purposely make their life miserable. These people, I swear. They're just petty. What? Oh. Well, I guess you're going to be using this door mostly to get inside the shower. Oh, don't mind me. Don't mind me just cleaning up after a hard day of dealing with cockroaches. You know, I might do a video just to compare, since I can do this really fast now. I kind of want to see what it is like to have hard assembly on versus easy assembly. I think that'd be kind of a fun video to do. Because, I mean, if I'm curious about it, I'm sure other people are. You know what? Screw this guy. I'm gonna give her a mirror. Let's show all results. Let's give her a really nice mirror. You know, let's give her one of these sunburst mirrors that I like so much. Would this even go? Like, would this even go in this? It doesn't at all. No. This is whoever added this to the store. Not the store, but the workshop. Thank you so much. But it is a little bit too pretty for this bunker. It's a little too good. Why don't we just give her this? Why don't we just go basic and wow, that is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Okay, so if the mother-in-law's vain, she has a really big wall mirror to look in. So we're helping her out a little bit. But yeah, in this one you don't even get the option to paint. There are some, I think that there are some jobs that you don't have to paint in, but you still have that option to do it. But this time you don't, because the client, of course, wants to make this uninhabitable and make it as miserable as possible for his poor mother-in-law. So in the past, when I put the sink in and the cabinet, I went with green. because I wanted to match the, what is that, the generator? But I don't think I want to do that now. I just think that's a bad idea. I don't want white, though, either. Maybe I like this. Maybe I like this. God, it's so dark. It is so drab in this room. I figured, you know, maybe green could be a splash of color, but it's just not a good idea. Not here. Not this. What did I do? Was everything just black, I think? Yeah, and then the countertop is white. Yeah, see, that's fine. That's fine. If we could just paint the walls, it would just be so much nicer. But we can't. I'm going to buy many of these. I don't want just one. I want to line them up kind of over the cabinet so that, you know, she has a little bit more space to work with. You can't just have one shelf, come on. You know, she can put some of her food here, but then also, like, this could act as a bookshelf because, I mean, you know, who doesn't like to read? Actually, me. I don't like to read all that much. And I'll tell you, before I did this recorded version, I did play this job one time before where I moved the shelves to this wall, and I believe I had the bed also on this wall, and I moved these also so that they weren't in the way. But that is a massive task because as soon as you move this, all of the contents on the shelf drop to the floor, and so you have to put it all back. And that was not something that I took into account or that I realized, because I thought that when you lifted this up, everything on it went with it, kind of like The Sims. You know, if you move a table and there's something already placed on it, you know, everything that's placed on the table moves with it. But this is not The Sims. This is definitely not The Sims. Because, first of all, you know, a positive about this game versus The Sims is that all the wood matches. Like, you can get something and match the wood with it, whereas with The Sims, you know, good luck. But that's a good plus here. But of course, the downside is you move a shelf, everything else doesn't go with it. But anyway, we're done with this. We have 100%ed it. Hopefully the mother-in-law doesn't take this out on us. But quite frankly, I do hope that she makes the life of the... Can I get out of here, please? Thank you. Hopefully she does make the life of her son-in-law a little more difficult. I don't want to go through the garage because I don't want to deal with the garage door opening and closing. This is not the way out. How do I get out? Can I get out this way? Is this the backyard? It's a backyard. Okay, well, let's shut this. Let's get out the way we came in. Just hop the bushes, hop the topiary, and we're out. So they showed the garage in that one, but they didn't show the bathroom that we redid. Huh. We didn't really do it. We didn't do anything with the garage. But anyway, that's the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed cleaning up the cockroaches with me. We are going to see them, you know, here and there as we go through this. And I'll try to remember the disclaimer if for people who don't really like cockroaches. And for people who, you know, maybe are kind of like me and feel that little nauseous feeling when they see them even in game, then you will know as well, and you can watch and be prepared for what's to come. But that's it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below. I will start working on some other things as well, but this playthrough I'm really quite enjoying myself. So just for me and my enjoyment, I'm going to keep this up. But I hope you guys are enjoying it too, and I will catch y'all next time.